now we're going to do a little story, okay? Now,
English language teaching under the covers.
Hello and welcome back to ELT Under the Covers Teachers React, where we as English language teaching professionals, we look at teaching clips on the internet and we give our analysis. Are they good or bad examples of teaching? Today we're doing another follow-up on our TPR, Total Physical Response Methodology video, and we're going to look at TPR for kids. But first, introductions. I'm Neil of Team Teacher.
Hello everybody, it's Professor Leach.
TPR for kids. We looked at this a lot in the methodology video, and we got some good examples. But when I say TPR and I say kids rich, what do you think? What comes to mind when you think of a teacher using TPR with kids?
Lion. Was that a lion? I don't know. Eagle. Kangaroo, whatever. Yeah, something silly like that.
Yeah,
you know.
And it doesn't. It's fun, but how effective is that really? You know,
Right.
It's just kind of like fun.
Shouting out individual items of vocabulary and the kids doing some related action. Yeah, that is the thing that comes to mind.
Yeah.
Which is distinct from the other example of TPR that we saw, where we had basically it was actually an authentic interaction, wasn't it? Where the teacher said, "Touch your nose," and the students touched their nose, which is really cool. Mm-hmm. I suppose you could make it authentic by saying, "Act like a kangaroo." Although, when would you ever have that conversation?
That's what I mean. Like that's what often is the problem when we see these TPR classes with kids. I do this. I am 100% non-judgmental because I know what it's like when you're teaching kids, especially if you've got huge classes and an awful lot of energy. It's a good way to kind of start off and just kind of like, bounce around or whatever. But the goal is always communication. So when you're acting like a lion, is there any point in your day-to-day life where someone's gonna be like, you're trying to explain something, you're like, I'm just gonna act out this lion or something like that, or can you give me your best Jagger, but give me your best lion or something like that. It just doesn't ever come up. So it always makes more sense when you're doing TPR.
It doesn't have the same effect. I think a lot of the benefits of TPR, the subtle benefits, were present in that adult version we've seen, where they really had to focus on the sounds, really listen to what he was saying, really try and process those sounds. And it's that reflection, that audio memory, accessing that audio memory, really listening for the differences as the different commands come up. It's that sort of concentration. I think just kind of throwing a couple of items of vocabulary at kids doesn't necessarily have as much of the same effect. So do you have any idea of whether what we're going to see today is a little bit beyond that?
It's a little bit beyond that. It's a little bit different. So this one, it's TPR, but they're using it as kind of they're using it along with storytelling. So they're telling a story and doing TPR with the story. So I thought it would be good to react to kind of do something a little bit different, because when we think about the TPR, we think about functionality, or we think about fun, and I wanted to kind of look at something where maybe it's somewhat of a combination of both. But I think maybe we just best dive in.
hello. Okay, now we're going to do a little story, okay? Now, you do it with me, okay? You do it with me. Now, say hello to your mom. Hello. Say hello to your mom. Hello. You are hungry.
A TPR sequence is demonstrated. The children listen and do the movements accordingly. The sentences are repeated several times. In the beginning, it's important to maintain the order. The children learn to understand the meaning of the sentences with the help of mimes, gestures and drawings on the board. Doing the movements themselves is an important memory aid.
Show the plum to your mom. Your mom says,
Soon, the children can make the movements on their own and in a different order.
say hello to your mom. Your mom says, eek. Say hello to your mom. Your mom shows you some plums.
Some random
Your mom
plums.
says, eek. Eek. Okay? Say hello to your mom. You are hungry. Your mom shows you some plums. Cut open a plum. Show the plum to your mom. Your mom says, very good. Okay, you listen to the CD and you write the numbers. Here we go.
Say hello to your mum.
It's 1.
2. You're hungry.
The children listen to the sentences from the CD. They write the numbers by the pictures in their book. Afterwards, they compare their results.
And here,
6.
6. And the last number here, 2. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen this kind of thing before. It's not too bad. It's yeah, you've got sentence phrases. Obviously, phrases I think are preferable to teaching individual vocabulary terms. So, you know, these kind of phrases: say hello to your mom, cut open the plum. Your mum says eek. Again, as you kind of talked about in the other video that we watched, we didn't actually have any production there from the kids. It was all reception. It was, I mean, everything was presented in L2, which is kind of nice, isn't it? Everything was presented in the language that was being learnt. So, you know, the kids were having to pay attention to kind of keep on top of that. So there was some receptive benefit. We also, the other thing is we had this kind of classic TPR scenario where everyone stood in a big U shape together. And it's a good way of starting off because it gives the safety net of if you don't know what to do, you just look at what everyone else is doing and copy that. But the downside there is we don't have the check to know that the individuals have got it. I suppose that's what the listening is there when it's saying, you know, write down the number of, well, actually no, because as far as I could tell from that listening, it was just say hello to your mum and you just write, oh, number 1 is say hello to your mum. That doesn't necessarily know that you mean that you know what say hello to your mum means.
Yeah.
It just means that you can recognize the words, I guess, that are being said. So the check wasn't ideal either. I think there needed to be, and again, there needed to be an activity. First of all, you need production, so the kids need to produce. And then you really need an activity which involves some sort of pair work or group work where the kids are saying this stuff to each other. I mean, one of the easy ways of doing that is with cards, isn't it? Like you have a deck of cards, shuffle them, they pick it up, and the card says on it, say hello to your mum, and they say hello to your mum, and then the other kid does the action,
Yeah.
and then they pick another card, you know, something like that.
Yeah, or you do what I always did when it was stuff like this. Phrase, to have 2 sets of cards, one with like a phrase and one with like a just a word, a noun, whatever. So, say hello to, and then, your mum, your dad, the eagle, the dolphin, or whatever. And, have groups of 3. You've got one person does the saying hello, that reads it out, and the other people do that action, and it could be kind of fun. Then you can make it, especially with kids, you can make it silly. So the person says, "Say hello to the dolphin," and the one of the kids is a dolphin, and the other one's saying hello, and they're cracking up because why are you saying hello to a dolphin? The teacher's crazy. It's got dolphins in the classroom. But yeah, it's really simple, and to do something productive. But yeah, I agree with you. There's no way they didn't have a way to check on them individually. If he'd have just paired them up quickly and asked them to do that, he could have done that check and then build on that and go a little bit freer. So that was an example of TPR used with phrases that was built into a story. That would be something that I would probably recommend more doing with kids than just kind of going fly like an eagle, fly, what have you, because at least it's in a narrative structure, and you can have them do role plays and stuff. I mean, you could do role plays with the other stuff, but the phrases is definitely better than just kind of going lion.
I think
tiger.
I would have preferred there to be a bit of consistency in the instructions as well.
Yeah.
It seemed like this was actually coming from course book material, so it wasn't really down onto the teacher, but for the material itself. But the idea that you had say hello to your mum, and then she says eek, it's you're kind of presenting different language there. I don't know what the level of these kids is, how much they're actually following along with that. I mean, what actually is the language that we're teaching? Is it eek and things like that, or is it that these kids are super basic and we're teaching everything? And if that's the case, maybe it would be better to keep it consistent.
It kind of seemed like
cut open your plum, show her the plum, react to your mum saying, something like that. So at least then it's always this imperative kind of form or something.
Yeah, I kind of feel like as soon as you went into that listening episode, I'm like, oh, he's teaching to the buck. That's what he's doing, really.
Yeah, right.
But anyhow, well, if you enjoyed that video, leave a comment below. Let us know how you use TPR, especially if you use TPR with kids. Do you do something a little bit different, a little bit funky? Is there something that you of yours that you can upload and let us watch? And leave it in below, or send us a message on eltunderthecovers@gmail.com. If you're looking for more information from myself, you can go to teamteacherchina.com. We've got a whole bunch of materials, PowerPoints that you can use instantly in the classroom. We've got a Team Teacher China YouTube channel where we have videos teaching you how to use those materials. Team Teacher English, where we put those materials into a video form for self-study. And Team Teacher Baby, where I take my experience as a teacher and put that into parenting.
And go to youtube.com/Professor Rich to see some English teaching. You can catch me weekly live streams on Oxford Online English YouTube channel. Oh, and also you can do a YouTube search for POG space UK, and you would get my alpha version of my new gaming channel, which actually just have some trial content on there at the moment. You can email us here at eltunderthecovers@gmail.com if you have anything you'd like to contribute to the show.
Smash that like button, share and subscribe.
And watch 100% of the video and don't click off. Thank you.
Bye.